There are companies that will tell you, send me X amount of dollars and we'll put you in a database and companies will just find you, right? And you'll be on their board in a flash.
Looking for a board opportunity is not just sitting in your room and hoping it's a job. And sometimes it's a full-time job. I don't think it's a full-time job, but it's a job.
I think it kind of comes across a little desperate too,
I know.
right? It's
Yeah.
sort of like if you sort of walked up to someone, let's put it in just a regular day-to-day activity, and you said, hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you get me a job?
Yeah.
That's sort of the last person you want to help, right? Or you feel like helping. But no, it sounds like there's a couple of things about networking here to pick up on. One is that one-to-one time, right? Don't just going to these events and meetings, and I know we've got one tomorrow night, and you walk into a room of 80 people. Is this your board opportunity right here? I mean, it's got to be that one-to-one time, really getting to know people. Is that what you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, you establish a relationship with somebody at a network. You meet them the first time, and if you feel there is some mutual interest, you say, would you be interested to maybe meet for coffee or for lunch someday? I mean, that's how you and I met.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
You were at PRISM, Private Director Association's
that's right.
organization, and they have their annual summit. You were looking for somebody to speak in your panel. You saw that I was there as well.
You couldn't make it.
I couldn't make it. I had to cancel. But then you said, hey, I'm doing a podcast. Would you be interested in doing a podcast? Mm-hmm. You have to be proactive. And looking for a board opportunity is not just sitting in your room and hoping. It's a job. And sometimes it's a full-time job. I don't think it's a full-time job, but it's a job. You got to have a strategy. And the other strategy is not just networking, it's talking to recruiters, establishing relationships with recruiters. So typically what I tell people is, if let's say you are in healthcare and you want to be on a healthcare company board, look at the top recruiters, and you can put in a ChatGPT, show me the top 20 recruiters who specialize in healthcare. And you contact them. And say, my name is Naomi or Frank, and I'm in town. You maybe live in Chicago, but you say, I'll be in New York City because that's where the recruiter is, first week of December. And I was wondering if you have a couple of minutes for me to introduce myself. And you do this a couple of times, and hopefully you get some people who are willing to meet you in person or on a Zoom call. And here's your relationship. And then you want to make sure you follow up, because recruiters meet so many people. You want to make sure that, you follow up in a, not being annoying, but once in a while you follow up. And also when they ask you, what are you looking for? You have to have an elevator speech. In 1 or 2 minutes, get across what you're looking for. And don't be too broad and don't be too narrow. They need to be able to put you in a box and say, Naomi, she could be on this $100 million family company board in this industry because that's what she has done and that's what she's going to be good at and that's where she can add value.
Yeah, and I think you have to treat that network, especially the recruiter network, you have to understand that you're not the only person they've met with that day or that hour, right? They've probably had 3 calls, and so you have to be memorable. Also, to another point, we're not going to name any names, but there are companies that will tell you, send me X amount of dollars and we'll put you in a database and companies will just find you, right? And you'll be on their board in a flash. I think what we're getting from you is that it's real work. You need to be deliberate about what you do. You need to have a plan. No one can, this is one of the top jobs, right? No one else can get that for you. Would you agree?
I would agree. And it takes time. Sometimes I'm surprised to hear from a recruiter I haven't heard for 2 or 3 years. And all of a sudden they call me up and say, I have this board opportunity which might be of interest. Don't think if you don't hear from them for a couple of years that they don't find you. But just don't rely on them finding you as well. Mm-hmm. So I always tell people, once you have established a relationship with a recruiter, connect on LinkedIn. And then whenever you post something, it pops up and they get reminded that you exist. And I cannot tell you how often I got a call from a recruiter after I posted something. They would have probably never called me, but because, as you said, they meet so many people and they don't think of me. But now I just posted something. Oh yeah, Frank, I didn't think of him as a candidate, but he could be a good fit, right? So how do you, people ask me, how do I make sure I stay on the radar screen of a recruiter without being annoying? So you meet for the first time, maybe for 10 minutes. You don't want to follow up in 3 months and say, yeah, I'm still here. I was wondering if you can meet, right? So what I think works is whenever there's a change in your resume, in your bio, let's say a new address, a new phone number, you joined a new not-for-profit company, send them an updated resume. By doing this, you have just reminded them that you are still there without being annoying. Whenever you speak on a panel, send out a post on LinkedIn before you do the panel, recognize your co-panelists, and maybe a photo from you and maybe from some of the other people to make sure that the recruiter will see it. And then have somebody take a photo, an action photo, when you do something like this, and post it again afterwards and say, here are the key takeaways. So what have you done? You have done 2 opportunities. You have taken 2 opportunities to remind a recruiter that you still exist, right? Without being annoying.
Right. And I think also we're sort of mid-October right now. We're coming up to the holidays. I think the holidays are another great time to reconnect with people and just send a note, to say, hey, here's an update from me from the year and things like that. So
I'm going to add this to my playbook.
You've got time. You've got right amount of time.